Hello all, welcome to a new video of CadCompanion. In this the series of our solid edge basic to advanced. In this series, our today's videos will be related to the smart dimension and annotation in solid edge. So to access the smart dimension and annotation window, you first need to go into the sketching window. So for that, I will just click on sketching, then click on the plane. I will just now you can see that I am currently in the sketching window. So for the reference, I will just draw one rectangle. For example, I have drawn this one. So in solid edge, if you are placing any sketch or any entities to make it fully constrained, we go for the smart dimensioning window. So I will just give the two dimensions for rectangle. One is length and then breadth. So you can see that the color of that entity is now changed to black color, which indicate that it is currently fully constrained. Fully constrained means I cannot move the entity without changing the dimension. So if I want to change the dimension, I just need to click on that particular dimension, put the value in which I want to change it, just like that. So now I will just delete the dimension. So now if you want to place any dimension to make it constraint any entity, you just need to go into the smart dimension window in solid edge. Here we have various options, you firstly will when you will use this particular environment, sometimes user can get confused what are these options. So today we will explain how to utilize these options to increase the efficiency of your workflow. So first is horizontal vertical. If you have two lines and you just want to measure the distance between two, you just wanted to define, you can utilize this section. Then we have 2 points by 2 points. If you want to go for by 2 point section, we have this dimension axis section also. This I will explain it to you later how to use this. Mostly you can set it to automatic, so solid edge will automatically detect in which section on which selection you want to go for the dimension. Now in solid edge, if you are drawing something, for example, this is the circle which I am drawing on the origin. I am giving it a dimension for this whole diameter. So now you can see that it is in black color and dimension is in red color. Now if I give it one more dimension, what we can say, I am making it over defined. So now it is converted into the blue color. So you should always check that if you are giving over dimension, then that is not feasible. Here in solid edge also, if you are giving any dimensions, we have this lock control. So if you are giving any dimension, you just want to recurse a driven dimension, then you can unlock it. So any dimension will not make the sketch fully constrained, it is for reference only. Then again, while placing, you should have this checkbox on. Then we have round off option also, for example, I'm giving some dimensions but I want to make it to round off to 1. So you can do that also in solid edge. That is also very simpler in solid edge. Then we have next selections. Like for example, if I am drawing some rectangles, these are the points which increase your efficiency while working in solid edge and make in good GTNT. Like for example, first we have this length dimension, means which is automatically detected. Then we have angular dimensions also. If you are going for one single entities, then you can select the angular dimension. This feature we also have this separate also. First we have distance between. Like for example, if there are one circular entity and there is rectangle entity, so if you go into the smart dimension and select this circular entity and this edge, then you can see that the dimension will be automatically placed from the center. So now if you want to select particular point, you can go into the distance between command, smart dimension, and just select the endpoints. Now you can see that particular endpoints are placed here. Then we have angular type of separate command for angular dimensions. For example, you have some dimensions which you want to define in angular position, then you can go into the angle between command. You just need to select that both entities and angular command will be activated here. Here we also have major and minor. Like this is the minor angle. If you want to go for the major angle, you can define the major angle also according to your use case. Then this is the radius command. Like for example, if you are going for the dimension but it is currently in you can see diameter symbol here, but if you want to go for the radius symbol, you can also do that in here only. Then we have this concentric diameter also. If you want to edge concentric dimension, if you want to show, you can utilize this command, concentric diameter command. Then we have tangent dimensions. For example, if two entities you are having, if you are going for the selection of that two entity, you can directly select for this tangent entity command. So whenever you click on the selection, that particular entity will be selected for the tangent points. Then what we have is next in line is, then you can also jog any dimensions. For example, if you are placing any dimensions, And if you want to means in default also solid edge there is one jog is added, but sometimes what will happen, the dimensions are not placed properly, it will go in line with the dimension line. That time you can select and enable this jog command, so that proper jog will be added here. Then these were some basic commands in dimensions. If you explore more, there are more commands in solid edge dimensioning also. Now for example, I have this you can assume is as a shaft. For example, this is type of shaft drawing we have. For example, I'm going in smart dimension. We have various type of dimensions also. First one is nominal, which is the normal we use. Then we have unit tolerance. For example, I want to give the tolerance for this shaft, so I'm selecting this shaft. Then I will select the dimension. You can see that when I clicked on unit tolerance, here the tolerance section came. So I will just put the tolerance value like +2, -2 I want to give. I will put on the tab. Now you can see that the dimensions are added here, or tolerances are added here. You can directly capture these tolerances into drawing also. We will in later videos I will show you how to do that also. Then in second section we have alpha tolerance. For example, if you want to go for alpha tolerances, you can also do that in solid edge only. Then we have classes for pipes and shafts, holes and shaft. If you want to show the what we say the classes, you can directly select here. Either you can go for the user defined shafts, or you can go with the fit and tolerance also. Like you just need to select the whole feet and shaft fit, and according to that your particular dimensions will be directly added here. So this is also very simple in solid edge selection. Like that, we have limits, limit section also. Like for example, for any shaft, any dimension you want to place the limit of 5, 5 in positive and 5 in negative, so you can also do that in solid edge only directly. Then we have a reference dimension. For example, some dimension you just want to show it as a reference dimension, so this type of bracket will come, which show that that particular dimension are for references only. So like that, I will again put the reference dimension. Like this type of bracket will come. And there is this feature callout, I will show it in next command. And there is this blank dimension. Sometime what happens, mostly if you are going for any dimension, this type of normal dimensions will come, only dimension entity will come, but you will not able to see the value. So in that case, it will be going to the blank. So you can just change it to nominal, and now solid dimension will work smoothly. Then we have what we say, I will just smart select and delete all the dimensions which I don't want. Okay. Now there is the next dimension type. There are feature callouts. For example, assume this is the one shaft, so this is the diameter of that shaft. But in this view, I want to show that diameter only, as a diameter only. So you can see that currently it is showing the as a normal dimension only. So if you want to add some icons, or we can say prefix suffix, so for that you can select that particular dimension, go into the prefix suffix section. You can see here it is icon edit definition. Here you can add the prefixes type you want, like diameter symbol if you want to add. In suffix you want to add something, what is this type of shaft, or what is the hole dimension, what is the size of that particular hole. You can directly select that. In suffix, if you want to add some notes, you can also do that directly in solid edge. You can click on that. You can see that that particular suffix and what we say prefix are added here. Then like that, if you don't need, you can disable the prefix and normal dimension will place. Then we have seen the angle between and distance between. Then we have coordinate dimensions. Like for example, what will happen if you are having such a sketch where various dimensions are added. So with respect to that, you just want to add the coordinate dimension at once. Now first I will show you one solid edge hack. For example, if you are going for a distance between dimensions, like for example, I want to show the length of all these edges. So first what I can do, I will just select the particular one by one edges, then I can place it. But this will be the lengthy process. So the next process will be, I will go into the distance between command. I will just select one edge, second edge, and I will not exit the command, and I will just select the next edges. Now you can see that it is much easier to do the dimensioning in solid edge. Then we also have the selection command, like placing command for this type of dimensions called as coordinate dimensioning. For example, I am assuming this is my coordinate. Then with reference to that, all the my dimensions should be added. So like that only, you just need to select the edges on all your dimensions will be added to with reference to this particular origin. Then if you want to change the coordinate origin, you can also change that coordinate origin also in whichever place you like to have. Same, we have angular dimensions also. For example, if you are having some angular dimensions, like I will place one circle. Like here you can see that here are some dimensions. I want to place it to angular method. So for that you can go for the angular dimension, angular coordinate system. We will just select the particular what is the first origin is. So I will again go into the angular dimension. I will select this is my origin. Now I will just need to select the particular points where my coordinate dimension should come. Now you can see that with reference to this zero origin, my particularly angular coordinate dimensions are directly created. Then we have symmetric diameter also in solid edge. For example, if there is some cross section here, if I'm rotating this particular shaft and for your better understanding, I will just delete this extra edges. For example, if I want to show some dimension with reference to this z axis, so sometimes what happens, this is the particular cross section I'm going to revolve. So this is the its dimensions from this z axis, which is 1400 something, but I want to make it to symmetric dimensions. Means I want to make it to double. So I will just go into the symmetric dimension command. I will just select this edge and this edge. Now you can see that according with reference to that particular edge, my coordinate dimension are sorry, symmetric dimension are placed. Either first I will select this edge as a reference. So now these are the proper coordinate dimension. So now if you mirror it or rotate it particularly, for example, I will just mirror this dimension with reference to this edge. Now if I calculate the this whole distance, it will be the total. So like that, you can define the symmetric diameter. Then we have dimension axis. Sometimes what happens, if you are having sketches in some angular sections, like this type of sections you are having. So to place the dimension in section in such type of entities, you need to go into the smart dimension. You need to select the edges. Now you can see that this type of dimensioning is coming. If you want to make it right, you need to press shift on your computer so that in particular angle it will come. But every time it is not possible to click on that. So for that you can set the dimension axis. For example, in this axis only I want to measure. So I will make it to dimension axis. Then I will go into the smart direction. In this toggle menu, I will go for the use dimension axis. Now, whenever I will select that particular edges, now you can see that each dimension will come in to that direction only. So, for example, for this type of selection, you can use dimension axis type. Then we have auto dimensions. Like for example, whenever you create any entity in solid edge, it is mostly come in without dimensions. You will have to again go into the dimension and give it the dimension whichever you want. But if you enable this particular auto dimension feature, so now whenever you draw something, the some what we can say the required dimension will automatically come. You just need to click on the dimensions and edit it. Then we have maintain alignment set. For example, if you are having some dimensions, I will just delete this extra dimensions. Okay. So in this case, if I am making some dimensions with reference to another dimension, so it should be in one line. So I will just drag it and take a reference of that particular before dimension. It is easier to add at once. Now, if I rotate one, sorry, move the one dimension, then all dimension will move. But if you switch off this maintain alignment option, then what will happen? If you now try to create that particular scenario, then you will not able to properly maintain it and properly add it. Or else, if you click on this remove alignment set section also, for example, I will click and just select that particular dimensions and click on remove alignment set. and accept. Now if I also move this particular dimension, then it will move into the particular its own in own direction. So this maintain alignment set should always be on. Then we have the styles option. We will see it is in later video, because it is some what we say, it will be used to control the styles of solid edge. These are some normal option, like if you want to increase the PMF font and decrease the PMF font, this dimension font, this you can control from here. Then these are the call out features. This will also take one separate video to properly explain it, but basically from this call out you can directly create some custom call outs which we have in solid edge, which will be directly attached to the particular property. Normally also if you want to make some notes like that feature, like for example, this is the note I want to make. For this also you can utilize this feature. I will just type the call out text. Here also you can utilize special characters if you want, and just select the particular edge. We also have the leaders option. So according to that leader, you can directly provide the note you want. There are more advanced option in this callout. I will explain it to you in later video. Then we have balloon section, which will be used in mostly in drafting. So this annotation, for this particular annotations window, we will make a separate video. Now in this text position, you can utilize this text option also. If you go into the text option, if you want to add something, you just need to click on the empty space and type whatever you want. For example, the size is very low, so I'll make it to some 100 mm. Now I'll select and type something here. Now you can select, see that that particular dimension is typed. Now it is in white color. That's why it was not properly visible. Okay. So these were some basic options in smart dimensioning of solid edge, and some annotations. We will later cover the next video. In next video, we will cover all the advanced option in sketching. So stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching.